Size up of the project. This is a driver's side fender from a 2007 Dodge Grand Caravan. That's the replacement part. It was $120 in Canada. Probably get it online, well under 100 delivered. Okay, so it's quite straightforward. You can see the fender matches up with that fender. This we had a bit of a fender bender, and I'm just going to unbolt this fender, replace with that one, and just a quick overview of the bolts. So there's one on the top right, so that will be just in there. So, and just, you know, it's common sense, right? Wherever the bolt holes are here on the fender, you can see where they're going to be on the car. So there's a couple there, and there's several across here, and then the one I just pointed out, and then a few more down there. So the job is basically to get behind the fender where you can undo the bolts, and it's actually quite straightforward. There's a plastic wheel well, I guess a water guard, sort of splash guard behind there, and you need to get that out, and then that'll basically give you the ability to get in there. A couple of little things. So there are some parts from the existing car that you need to move onto the new one. So right there's a couple of very small splash guards with some Phillips head screwdrivers. You can see there's just one screw there. That little bit comes out and just gets attached onto there. And the bumper is attached there. I'll need to pull the bumper forward a little bit so this whole bit comes out. And there are two screws, one in there, and then there are two plastic pins. I'll probably have to pull those up and break them and replace them. I'm just going to compare my new part to my current fender, and you can see there's the bases. Looks good. There's yep, spot for bolts, same as there. The top looks good. Notice on my original piece there's a little fitting right there, plastic that fits into, I don't know, a slot or something on the car. My replacement does not have that. I'm not going to worry about it. It looks like my new part. Oh yeah, it comes out okay. That little sponge is on there because of that point. I'm going to move this over. It's on a sewer. There's that little point, and I think that sponge is there just to make sure it doesn't get damaged. Good idea. Bolt, and bolts. Okay, we're good. And the only other thing I notice is the right there's a tab that's pushed over, and on my replacement part, it's coming out. I guess I'll either find a place to put it or I'll bend it over. Okay. You need to remove the 4 bolts across the top of the fender. So there's 1, there's 2. There's 3, and then there's a 4th one tucked back behind the arm for the hood. Now what you need to do is I just took a long piece of metal or something, and I lowered the hood down, I don't know, about 2/3 of the way. Then I took a 10mm closed-ended wrench, and I was able to then get in, and it took me a long time, but I was able to get that wrench onto the 4th bolt. Okay, you can get it in. It's not hard. Just takes you a while. Fender is connected right here to the front bumper. I guess it's the bumper. Yeah, it's the bumper, or the whatever. It's front of the car. You can see it, I think, down in there. Just zoom in. There's a bolt. You just need to undo that. Now, to get at that, you need to pull the front headlight out, and that's really easy. There are 3 screws here. Just unscrew those, and the light just pops right out, and that exposes the bolt inside. These bolts are sort of all over the place, so I'm holding in place here the rear view mirror. What you need to do is take a very small screwdriver and insert it here. You need to remove the rear view mirror, so there's a small plate that fits inside of a fitting on the outside, and you can see where I've damaged a little bit. You take a tiny screwdriver and just pop it in the crack about 1 inch down from the top, pop the little panel out, pull it out as much as you can, and then just give it a good strong tug, and it will come out. And what's happening is there's a little tab right here that fits into this, that fits into this slot down there, and that you're just pulling that up. Then you've got 2 bolts here, and then also one below that's tucked in right in the middle. You need to open the door and get a screw, or a wrench in there, a socket. Then the rearview mirror comes off, and all I did was I just sort of wedged it like that in between the door and the frame. Do whatever you like. You just it can't be down on the door fender where you're going to replace the fender. And you can see in there's another bolt that I've already taken out. Take that bolt out, and this panel is getting close to the bolts being out. So down below, here's another couple of bolts that I took out. You can see I've already done it. This one on the left, that one's quite straightforward. This one was a little interesting. I've never seen one like that, but that's what it looks like. So there's I don't know, there's a little piece of plastic. It looks like it was a fitting for something and it broke off, but that is in there. Then this little bolt is a screw and a bolt. This is what is screwed into the frame, and then this little threaded end that pops out has a little cover on it. So you actually need to unscrew or unbolt the cover from the threaded end. Then that exposes another bolt, I guess, or sorry, another nut that is built into this bolt. It's a bolt and a screw. It's a little bit of everything, and then it just comes out, and then that's what it looks like underneath. So now this fender is kind of coming off, and I'll just pry it until I get it on. What I found is that there's the tab. It's right there. It actually, when this car was hit, that tab snapped off, so you need to unbolt this. My piece doesn't have my replacement piece doesn't have a hole in it. I'll have to drill a hole through this tab. I'm going to remove this, put the new fender back on, and sink that screw back in. There's a screw and a nut. Actually, I thought it was a bolt before, but it's a nut that you get off, and then that connects the fender to the bumper. Those are there are 2 screws down here. These ones I did not mention before when I took them off. They were quite hard to get off. I believe they're 10mm bolts. It wasn't quite 10mm, it wasn't quite 11. I think it's a 10, and you would have to really force a socket up onto those. I wound up with a lock, like a vice grips, and I beat the heck out of those bolts to get them out. Finally got them out, and then there is a kind of a fitting, kind of a snap fitting here that snaps into the bottom of the fender. There are the 2 bolts down there with the funny little metal cap, and there's the bolt up there. That's the summary. Now I'm going to put it all back on. To get the fender back in place, start at the top, and there's a tab here that will just slide in between this. It's the hood arm fitting and the frame. Just slide the tab from the new fender in the middle, and then it'll just slide all the way back as far as it can go, and you'll be able to figure out how far it should go. One note, this is after the fact, when replacing the fender and the plastic splash guard underneath, when you put the fender back on, make sure it fits over the splash guard, okay? Trying to get the splash guard in after you've mounted the fender is a real hassle, so save yourself a lot of time and trouble, and do what I suggest. very happy with how this turned out. So the door opens perfectly now. It used to, the door used to smack the old Fender, which was bent. It doesn't now, it's perfect. And this is, my replacement's a matte black. It needs to be painted, but I'll take care of that. And it fit in okay. There's, I think it doesn't join up too beautifully down there, but you know what? This car is a bit older and I'm not too worried about it. And I think the front fender and the grille fixture are not too good anyways, but no, very, very happy with the time it took. It took me, if I had to do it all over again with a video like this, probably take me 2 hours.